So this comes with Windows 10 Home. What the, come on, let's get rid of that Windows Home. Let's get some Windows Pro. Copy and paste my code from the description. You can also get Office 2019. Just paste my code. Woof, it's Windows Pro time. Righto, tell you there champs, hope you're all doing well. Now, what I have here is something right up my alley. Yes, this is a little bit self-serving because I've been looking into USB-C monitors or Thunderbolt 3 monitors because I do review a lot of laptops and I just want to connect them to the monitor with one cable USB-C and boom, we're done. And this one lets you do that. This is the BenQ EX3501R curved gaming monitor. Now, I've reviewed quite a few monitors and this is very similar to, say, the ROG Swift, the PG348Q, which I have reviewed, but I like this better. Now, BenQ sent this out to me, and when they reached out, as soon as I read that line, USB-C, I'm like, yep, send it over, come on. Bring it on. And this thing here is for gaming, obviously. Not only is it great for gaming, it is great for watching cinematic content. And I actually made a video not long ago. You might not have seen it. Check it out because you'll get to see my hometown, Melbourne, all in glorious widescreen cinematic quality. And it looks epic on this display. And why I like this over the PG Swift, the ROG monitor, is because it's more to my taste. That's too gamery for me. I wouldn't buy a gamery sort of that gaming aesthetic monitor. That's just not me. It's personal preference, up to you. But this thing for me is much more stylish, much more modern, clean, refined, elegant, whatever adjective you want to use. It's just built nice, it looks good. And it has USB-C, as I've mentioned probably 5 times already. Not only that, HDR. Now, it's not blow away HDR 1000, but you can in Windows turn on HDR and view back HDR content. And it will give you that HDR effect. It sort of just gives you a good taste of HDR. Bit of an appetizer, if you will. And look at it. Look how huge it is. 35 inches, 21.9 ultra-wide with the HDR, as I said. BenQ iCare technology. There are multiple settings in there and you can change that. And I can tell you that I don't have to wear my gaming glasses when I use this gaming. I don't get sore eyes. When I have the iCare enable, of course, flicker-free technology, that would be helping out as well. 100 Hertz, which at 1440p, 100 Hertz, you're going to need a 1660 Ti or a 5700 or something like that, AMD. And it is FreeSync as well. So this is great for gaming. It is curved. It is a gentle curve, so that's good. You're not going to probably want to be doing content creation with this because, curved monitors, the lines aren't exactly straight. And the color gamut is 100% sRGB, and I did measure that. It's 300 nits of brightness as well. And it pretty much, I'll give them that. The specs are bang on. 2500 to 1 contrast ratio. LED backlit. It is a VA panel. And it's a good VA panel. So I've got no complaints with this. It's great for gaming, great for cinematic quality, 100 Hertz, you get that connected feeling. No real ghosting to notice. I did notice on the ROG Swift there was some ghosting on that one. So this one's better in that regard. And I think it comes in at a sort of decent price point of around, $1,000 Australian, 600-ish US. Which is good for a monitor this size, this resolution, USB-C. It is a matte display as well, so the reflections are well controlled. You only get around 10 watts power out of the USB-C, so don't think you'll be charging your laptops and so on. But it is so good that I have all these laptops, and now I think I'm going to give my own personal gaming monitor the Kyber Pass and use this as a daily driver for connecting all my laptops to and for gaming. USB-C, I love it. I will not buy a monitor if it doesn't have USB-C connection. And it will do 100 Hertz over that USB-C. So you can connect it to your Mac as well. It's actually got a profile in there for a Mac. In terms of an experience, that ultra-wide gaming experience, the immersive feeling, that matte coding, the curve, controlled reflections, and that's one of the problems with mine. I do get a bit of reflections. And one thing, actually, it also has this feature called BI Plus Tech, which is basically brightness intelligence. And what it does is it measures the room's brightness and it will adjust the display accordingly. Not only for brightness, but for color temperature too. So if there's a lot of yellow light, it'll change the temperature of the monitor to adapt for that lighting. So think of it like True Tone on your iPhone or True Tone on your Mac. That's what it does. So that's a feature you don't get in many monitors. And I like that it does have dedicated color mode for the Mac, because I can tell you now, using the Mac on external monitors, the way the Mac manages colors compared to Windows, sometimes it can look whack. I do appreciate that. I really like this monitor, I do. What am I going to complain about? All right, so 2 complaints. 1, the USB-C cable is not long enough. That needs to be twice the length at least. 2, they could have integrated some more USB functions. So one of the monitors I have, which I will review soon, is the USB-C monitor as well, is when I plug the USB-C into my laptop, I get Ethernet as well. It gives my laptop Ethernet. There's no extra functions sort of like that. It's not giving me Ethernet. It's not giving me power. Also, that monitor gave me around 65 watts of power as well. Now, that's the only criticism. Other than that, nothing to complain about. It's an awesome display and you'll be very happy with it. Righto, Toyota champs. Now, I'm going to be reviewing this thing here, the EX series curved monitor, EX3501R. Now, 1800 curve, 35 inches, 1440p, 344 by 1440, 100 hertz, HDR, and the most important thing is, woof, yes, USB Type-C. Now I'm going to be reviewing a couple of USB Type-C monitors. I'm going to actually compare to. This is perfect for a laptop because 100 hertz, you've got to remember that, say an RTX 2070, you're not going to get much more than 100 frames per second if you're playing ultra or high, other than games like, I don't know, Fortnite, Counter-Strike, Overwatch and stuff like that. But, really demanding games, you're probably going to get around that 100 frames per second ultra, maybe a bit more if you play high, and medium, yeah, you can probably get into the mid hundreds, but you probably want to play at high settings. So 100 hertz is perfect, 1440p is perfect. You got to remember, most of the gaming laptops are tested at 1080p, so to get 100 frames at 1440 is going to be a bit harder than, obviously 1080. HDR capable. Now, it's not the biggest, brightest, HDR monitor going around. It's not HDR 1000, but it will sort of give you a HDR feeling effect. So that is good. Curved, it's a gentle curve, so that's good. I don't like them curved too much, and it's an ultra wide. So a lot of people like the ultra wide. So let's get inside, have a look. All right, so there's the power brick, HDMI cable. That's the cover for the back, obviously the I/O section. Also have, some literature, maybe a driver in there, warranty, the power lead for the power pack. That's display port and the magic. Yes, USB Type-C. Okay, there, you can sort of see what the curve's going to be like. And indeed, it's already attached. I do like that. I thought you had to put it together. It's already attached, so I just have to pull that out. Let's have a look inside. So you have the I/O port under here, and there you go. You have HDMI's there, you have display port, USB, the magic USB Type-C under there, and the power. So you have audio out, I guess that is over there. From the back, just having a quick look, that's looked quite nice already. So let's have a look at it set up. Alright, so having a look at it, it looks the part, doesn't it? It really does look nice, looks clean. The curve, how bad is it? Or how good is it? Depends on how you see it there. Doesn't seem too crazy, that curve. Let's just have a look at the top edge. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Now, having reviewed quite a lot of monitors, the first thing you want to check on these ultra wides that have this curved monitor is this curved bit at the bottom. Sometimes the gap of the frame moves in. Yeah, it seems okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, some of them, you're pressing and the gap's so big there that, it looks really off-putting. Now, let's have a look at the back. Having a look at the back. Looks nice and smart, doesn't it? Very minimal, nice grey finish there. Nice stand, solid. Basically, the only thing you can do is tilt it like that and move it up and down. There's no swivel to it, so tilt it, move it up and down. As you can see there, we'll put the I/O thing on so we can see how it looks. It's nice. So it looks nice and neat with the I/O cover on there, so it looks even better like that. I must say, it is a nice unit. It is nice. You cannot deny that. Alright, so now I have a ghetto rig to a Mac. And why is that important? Because I want to show you something in here. I want to show you the on-screen display. Of course it works with the Mac. Through to USB-C, of course. Now one thing I will say, this cable, look. You know, that's as long as it is. Come on. That is too short. We need a longer cable, at least double the length. I actually have another USB-C monitor, which I will review soon, and it does have a much longer cable. So, you know, it's hard with such a short USB-C cable. Anyway, you can obviously purchase one if you really want. Make sure it's one for display, because I tried to use a Thunderbolt cable and another USB type cable and it didn't work. So anyway, let's go to the on-screen display. Now what you'll see here is you'll have buttons under here, okay? So they just control the on-screen display here. It's very simple. So why have I got it hooked up to a Mac? Because I'm going to show you something. Just press any of the buttons and then we can go through this menu. So it's very simple. I like this. Advanced picture mode. Going to go over to the right, and what you will see here, will go over to the right again, is all these presets. So let's go down. I had it on Gamer 1. Okay. Now you have one called MBook. So I'm going to do that. Now this is one thing that's important, because, you know, with Macs, they do color completely different to a Windows PC. So the way a Mac manages color is completely different to Windows, and I can see putting it in that MacBook mode, it looks better. It does. It just looks right. It looks like a Mac. That's how the colors look in the Mac. It is color accurate for what it's worth. I mean, you're not going to be doing color stuff with this. This is for entertainment, productivity of the two screens with the curve there. You know, obviously, you know, look at the top line there. When you have straight lines, they're going to be curved on a curved monitor. That's just how it is. That's why you wouldn't want to use this for graphics work. You could probably get it done. You can sort of account for it, but really you don't want to be doing color work and stuff like that. That's not to say you can't do video editing with it. I think it would be pretty good for video editing. But obviously a flat display is better for that sort of thing. So it's good that it has a dedicated Mac mode so the colors don't look whack, because I connect the Mac to other monitors and the colors just look wrong. They look completely wrong. On this they look right because they do have that dedicated mode. Let's go have a look at some other stuff that's in there. Right, so if we have a look, we have display. So that means picture in picture, all that sort of stuff, the inputs you can do. You have picture, so you got your contrast, you can reset it, you know, your sharpness, brightness, all that sort of stuff. Here we have the most advanced features of it. You can select the picture mode. I'm in MacBook mode here. We'll just have a look at some of the other modes. So I'm going to go through the display modes now so you can see the differences in the color. That's standard. See, the colors look a bit wrong now because it's on a Mac. It's connected to a Mac. It just doesn't look quite right. HDR. And it does have HDR. Look, it's not HDR 1000 going to blow you away, but it will give you the HDR effect. So it's good that it does have HDR, and you can actually turn it on in Windows. sRGB if you're doing stuff for the web and that. Photo, I actually like photo because it's a bit more contrasty. So photo is really good. I think I'll stick with photo rather than standard. It looks better for me. There's Gamer 1, Gamer 2, Gamer 3. Then there's custom. And then we have MacBook, and boom, look at that. The colors are right straight away once you go to MacBook, okay? So compared to, say, standard, see standard, that blues don't look as rich as what it does with the MacBook mode. So you go to MacBook mode, yeah, there. It does look better on the Mac. So that MacBook mode does work, and that's why I wanted to show you it connected to a Mac. That is awesome. Yeah, I really like this monitor. Yeah, USB-C is the way. I really like it. Right, so let's have a look at it. This, good build quality. I gotta say, good build quality. You know, there's nothing bad about it. It looks modern, it looks sleek, it looks elegant, it looks everything you want. You can see that curve there, subtle curve. You only have height adjustment. So this can go up, down, and up, and tilt. So you can tilt that back or forward. That's it. So it doesn't swivel at all. There is the sensor for that, you know, sort of like, what do they call it, BI plus or brightness intelligence. That's the sensor that's going to give you that brightness intelligence thing. So think of True Tone on the iPhone and Macs. Now I will say, have a look here. That cable's too short, that USB-C, right? So, you know, where are you going to connect it to? It needs to be at least double the length of that. It's one little downside. Not a big deal, you'll be able to buy a longer one. Now let's have a look at some HDR content. And no, it's not, you know, VESA display, you know, HDR 1000. But this does give you the HDR effect. You can turn it on in Windows and play HDR videos. This isn't a HDR video. Look at it. Looks amazing. Now you're going to be watching this on the standard definition monitor, so you're not going to see what I see. But I can tell you now, this looks much better than normal video, standard definition. So it does work, the HDR, although, you know, it's not the highest spec HDR. It'll still get your, you know, your taste buds. It's a bit of an entree. You know, it's going to whet your appetite for HDR. And when you see this, you're going to be like, oh yes, now I understand what HDR is. Now have a look at it. Super bright areas, you know, dark contrast areas, good viewing angles on this. You know, you don't lose that much, especially if you're in front of it. I mean, it is super bright outside. So, you know, this is the worst conditions imaginable. And look at that. Look at the colors of that. That looks amazing. Now, I wish you could see what I could see. Look, oh, that looks epic. That really does. That is a good scene there. Just do more of that, please. Yeah, so you do get the HDR effect. There's actually a scene at the end that looks really awesome. Not this one. We'll just get to it. There, look at that. Wow, 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 wow. They saved the best for last there. So I like this display. Awesome for gaming, super connected feeling. I really love it. Yeah, at this price point, even though it's not cheap, yeah, you get what you pay for. It is a good monitor. You know, gaming, for watching, you know, HDR content, for watching, you know, cinematic quality stuff. It is really good.